Hello and welcome to another episode of What's Inside. Today we're looking at Diskwars. This is the Warhammer version of Diskwars that may be listed under Diskwars Warhammer or Warhammer Diskwars. This is put out by Fantasy Flight, and of course Warhammer is licensed from Games Workshop. And basically what this does is puts an entire game in a box so you don't have to buy a bunch of miniatures. If you've seen our other Disc War videos, you'll have kind of an idea of what to expect. There'll be little discs with different numbers on them to represent the army's attack value, defense value, etc. And there's everything else in here. This is designed for ages 14 and up, 2 to 4 players, average playtime of 45 to 90 minutes. There are 2 expansions for this. That have, I believe Skaven is in one. I don't remember who's in the other one. If I can find them, I will dig them up. This will retail for around $30. I liked Diskwars when it first came out, so I got this when I found out about it. It's been out for a little while though. 2013, I think it came out. Now inside here, we're gonna have 62 discs, 3 battle dice, 1 6-sided dice, 4 initiative tokens, 10 wound tokens, 45 activation tokens, 22 damage tokens, 5 terrain pieces, 7 empowerment tokens, 4 battle ability tokens, 4 battlefield corners, 24 command cards, 12 deployment cards, 5 terrain cards, 5 scenario cards, 1 special scenario card, and 1 range ruler. Only 1 range ruler might be an issue, depending on the quality of it. But let's open this up and see what we've got in here. Now, I used to play Warhammer a lot. I never particularly cared for it as much as I liked 40k because smaller squads and less rigid movement rules. But this compelled me to buy it because it was Diskwars and I do like fantasy stuff. Alright, so here's our range ruler. It looks like it's probably about 12 inches long. So you could probably photocopy this. It might be a little shorter. I don't have a ruler handy or I would check it. But yeah, it's fairly sturdy, but I could see this getting bent fairly easily. You know, it is long enough that the middle is going to be weak. So be aware of that. Alright, here's some cards. We'll look at those in a minute. 4 dice, 1 standard blue d6, and 3 black specific dice. So be aware of that. Alright, there's the rule book. We'll look at that in a moment. And everything else is shrink wrapped. So let's get this out of the way. And we'll look at the rule book first. Nice quality paper like you'd expect from Fantasy Flight. It's 24 pages long. There's an index on the back and a cheat sheet with all the symbols. I really like that. And everything's noted on a little key, map key here, so you can compare them and figure out what's what. So that's really good. Fantasy Flight does make really good content, so I'm very rarely disappointed with them. So this will be pretty well explained because Fantasy Flight has a good track record for that. And Diskwars was pretty well laid out previously. I think they've improved a few things, but same flip token factor for movement. You flip it however much their movement is. So yeah, it looks like it's pretty straightforward rule book. The layout is really well done. The colors are good. It's even got a contents list here of the different types. You got 38 small discs, 16 medium discs, 8 large discs, 4 initiative tokens, 1 blue 6-sided d6, the 3 battle dice, 10 wound tokens, 45 activation tokens, 7 empowerment tokens, the 22 damage tokens, the 4 battle ability tokens. I can't talk. 4 battlefield corners. I won't be too worried if those were missing. The 12 deployment cards. 5 terrain cards, 5 scenario cards, 1 special command card, which is on top of the deck here, 24 command cards, the range ruler, and the treasure pieces. or terrain pieces. I can't read upside down. So everything is pictured here. I do like that. It is nice to see everything listed in with color images. You don't see a lot of that. But the rulebook is really nice quality. I'm pretty impressed with that. Let's take a look at the dice first, actually. Get those out of the way. Then we'll look at the actual game cardboard bits. Alright, oh, these are actually pretty nice. They're a little light, but they do roll pretty well. The D6 is just a D6. It's kind of a cheap looking one. It does remind me of the D6s that you'd get in Mage Knight stuff. But it's not quite that cheap. It's just a D6. Pretty good size though. Good feel to it. Now with these, we've got a cracked skull on one side. Directly across from it is a skull with the helmet on. And then next to that we've got an X. And directly across from the X is another X. And then there's an arrow, and across from the arrow is the chaos symbol. So I'm sure those are all explained in the rule book, but if you have to recreate the die, that's what it's going to look like. There are only 3 of them, so don't lose them. And if they're missing, that is a real hindrance to buying this used. But you could recreate it with what I just told you. But yeah, they're okay dice. Not bad. Pretty good, actually. I would say they're above average. They're a little light, but other than that, I don't really think that's even a serious complaint. I think that's just people getting picky. But that is a concern with some people. So if you're one of those people, well, you'll have an issue with it. Alright, let's get into these. Let's see what we got here. Alright, it looks like Empire or Imperial, whatever, and Chaos. So, let's see here. Yeah, they're exactly the same on both sides. So like here's some flamers, or flamers. Then you've got like the bunch of guys' names I can't pronounce. And Reichland Crossbowmen, Luther Huss, Bright Wizards, various chaos stuff at the bottom here. Here's some tokens intermingled in here. This is WHD01, A1 of 7. And the other side has the same images, just upside down, so when you flip them, it'll constantly be facing you. The next one is WHD01, A2 of 7. And this has some orcs on it, a chaos, and some elves. So it's giving you the basics of what you need to play. And same thing on the back. And then here's number 3 of 7 with some siege equipment. Much larger, obviously, than these guys. More tokens. There's the corner pieces. And same thing on the back. And then 4 of 7 has some siege equipment for elf and orc, a random orc guy, and 2 pieces of terrain, as well as your proof of purchase and the other stuff. So again, same thing on the back. 5 of 7 has some more chaos, imperial, and 1 orc. So yep, and a bunch of tokens. Same thing on the back. 6 of 7 has more orcs and elves, and a sun dragon, which I believe is on the elf team because it's the same color as the elves. There's some of the initiative tokens. So, same thing on the back. 7 has an orc Azhag the Slaughterer, who's a real big token, like the siege equipment, and then some terrain, and the big Warhammer initiative token. And of course we got the same things on the back. So yeah, overall these are really nice quality. I am real impressed with these. Real thick card stock. Real happy about that. Good for long-term play, I have no doubt. So let's take a look at the cards. One thing I don't like is that the range ruler has to go in the box diagonally. I kind of don't like that because that increases the chances that it's going to get bent if you flip the box or something. But alright, let's take a look at the cards then. Now when you get these out, you're going to want to be careful because, like I always say with these plastic bags, you got to be careful with this plastic edging on the Ziploc because it can damage your cards. So I always slide just a few out. I'm sure most people do it that way. And then slide the rest out if there's a big stack like this. Alright, the first one is our special scenario card, which is Strongholds. Then there's the greenback scenario cards that look like these. As I said, there are 5 of them. The first one is called Champions Arise. Then there's Charge. And Rain of Arrows. General Side. And lastly, Conquest. Oh, when a player places a piece of terrain, he may deploy 1 disc overlapping that terrain. Objective, score 1 victory point for each enemy casualty. Alright. Then we'll get into these cards here. And there are 2, 4, 5 of them. First one is Large Woods and Swamp. Rocks and Gully. Hill and Lake. Cave and Small Woods. And lastly, Watchtower and Ruined Windmill. Then we have directional cards here. These are all just different things, like here's Advance 4, Advance 4, Feint 3, Detachment 5, Detachment 5, Skirmish 3, Disperse 3, Rendezvous 1, Scout 2, Ambush 3, Ambush 3, and Screen 2. Alright, and the rest of the cards are backed like this. And there are quite a few of these. Let's find out how many. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 as advertised. And I'm tired of reading numbers. Alright, we've got 3 Lure, 3 Fists of Mork, 3 Warg, 3 Eager Troops, 4 Approach, 3 Strength of Gork, 2 Arcane Attack, 3 Winds of Morai Heg, 3 Shields of Safri. These are obviously Elvish. 3 Speeds of Osserin. 4 Entrap. 3 Push. 3 Intimidate. 4 Assault. 2 Storm of Chaos. 2 Stall. 3 Nurgle's Rot. 3 Blood for the Blood God. 3 Fulminating Cage. 3 Inspire. 2 Rally. 4 Attack. 2 Garrison. And lastly, 3 Myrmida's Blessing. Alright. So that's the cards. These are actually really nice quality. They're the linen backing. I didn't think they'd be this nice, honestly. But they're not that cheap gloss like you would expect. They're actually really high quality cards. I would still, if you're going to play this game a lot, I would still put these in protectors. You can get clear protectors. I would get that for these because these are really fancy cards, but heavy use will damage anything. So yeah, it's actually a pretty nice box set for 25-30 bucks. I know I've seen this for 40, and I've seen it for 20. So that's the price range you can expect to pay. I would anticipate around 30 bucks. I think I paid 30 for this one, but I really like Diskwars because if you're going to play a miniatures game, I prefer to play a cheap one. And I'm stingy and broke, so that's a bad combination to have. But Fantasy Flight, again, knocks it out of the park with a high quality box set. The cards are really nice quality. The discs are nice and thick, so they're good card stock. The only complaint I would have would be that range ruler, but I think you could probably make a photocopy of it or something like that before you play, so you can have a backup or make a template for it. Or just measure how long it is and use a ruler or a stick. Find some balsa wood, something like that. But that is what is inside the Warhammer Diskwars box from Fantasy Flight. Overall, I think that looks really good. And I like Diskwars and Warhammer stuff. So if you like the art in Warhammer, this does not disappoint. Same type of art. Definitely good quality. Fantasy Flight did a great job. But that'll do it for this episode. As always, thank you for watching, and we hope to see you on the next episode of What's Inside.